Hello, welcome. Today we're going to learn an interesting historical incident, the world's shortest war. Yes, you heard it right. A war that lasted for 38 minutes. Isn't that interesting? Let's peel off the cover of this marvelous story and learn why it still has relevance in the present world. Our story begins in the late 19th century, specifically on August 27, 1896, in the Sultanate of Zanzibar. Zanzibar was a British protectorate located off the coast of East Africa. The Sultan Hamad bin Thawani had kept very good relations with the British until he passed away on August 25, which arranged for a tremendous clash. Khalid bin Bargash was a protege of Hamad who through a coup grabbed the throne, directly defying British authority in office, having already preferred someone else for the post. Before somebody knew it, 2 days would find the final confrontation staged. The British issued an ultimatum to Khalid: quit by 9 a.m. on August 27 or face military action. Khalid refused to buckle under. He fortified the Sultan's palace and assembled around 800 men, including civilians, to defend his position. Meanwhile, the British mobilized their forces, 2 warships anchored in the harbor and a militia of around 900 men drawn from the local population, many of whom would have had experience as British local militia. The power dynamic was irrevocably skewed. The British forces had access to modern rifles while Khalid had antiquated muskets and just one artillery piece. At 9:02 a.m. on August 27th, the British opened fire. The bombardment was fast and destructive. In a few minutes, the palace was brought to dust and Khalid's forces were left in disarray. By 9:40 a.m. the war was over. Khalid ran to the German consulate seeking asylum, and the British installed their chosen Sultan Hamad bin Mohammed on the throne. Now, why did this conflict end so quickly? Let's explore some reasons. The clash between the British forces and Khalid's gave little room for resistance. The whole thing was inevitable from day one because of the extreme difference between military capability, where the firepower of the British Navy proved unbeatable. The British were far better prepared, having a clear plan of action and communicating very well. He underestimated the very resolute stand made by the British and overestimated his own position so that he could lose the battle so soon. The larger context of imperialism is also brought into focus by the conflict. The British were keen on holding on to Zanzibar, a strategic point in their East African trade network. Khalid's defiance, if successful, would then serve as a precedent for further challenges to British authority. The British response came quickly and largely, sending messages to others trying to challenge the authority they would not be tolerated. Most probably no long-term resistance was built owing to this contribution. This very short yet very intense conflict still holds lessons today. It reminds one of strategic planning, the influence of power relations, and the interests of geopolitics. For that matter, it can also be a reminder about the number of casualties in war, no matter how short. The story of the shortest war will remind youth to question authority, analyze power structures, and understand complicated historical events. It is also an example of how seemingly small decisions can have lasting consequences. Therefore, here is the story of the world's shortest war. The war that took just less than an hour but left indelible marks in history. As we take a moment to reflect on this event, let's think a little deeper on the broader implications of power resistance and the choices that we make when faced with the prospect of war. What do you think? Could Khalid have done something different? Was the outcome perhaps inevitable? And